Hey guys, it's Kay from Chaos Anonymous, and I'm here today with a new subreddit for the channel, r/TreeLaw. Dead ash trees past property line could damage my house. City won't remove them. 3 elm trees have died from emerald ash borer, confirmed by ISA certified arborate. They are dangerously close to falling on my mother, house, and power line. All the dead trees are on the other side of our property line according to the GIS map the county provides, which is owned by the city. They keep telling us it's our responsibility to cut them down, even though they are almost touching the public road and are clearly not on our property. Again, from the GIS map. Is the city responsible for cutting these trees down? Call the electric company and request a tree make safe. I don't know if that is a local term for me, but I've used it a few times to get power companies to take care of lines that I was concerned were going to get taken down by trees. Not always. Most utilities will do a make safe for primary single and 3-phase conductors, but not for a service entrance, what connects power to your house. That would be your responsibility. Most utilities will do a free disconnect/reconnect of a house service job so you can take down the trees safely, or hire someone to take them down that isn't electrically qualified, EHAP. Depending on the state, you can force the utility to take down trees close to any power line, but the utility then has the right to bill the landowner for time and materials of the job. Have a lawyer send a certified letter notifying them of the dead trees and liability. It's not an act of God if they know about the problem and ignore it. Thanks everyone, so much good advice here. The plan of action seems to be send a letter, if not, then call the electric company and see if they can cut them, and then if all else fails, just eat the cost and cut them down. Thanks, everyone here has been so helpful. Should view enhancement or preservation play any role in whether trees are cut or trimmed? This condo complex in Hawaii apparently thinks so. Kaneohe Condo Complex defies city ordinance and cuts down protected trees to enhance views. Excerpts. On the slopes of a Kaneohe promontory, prized for its ocean views, more than 1,000 trees have stood for decades as part of a lush hillside. Under a special city ordinance, these trees are supposed to be maintained by one of Hawaii's biggest residential condominium communities, but many of the specimens are gone. Recently, the city issued a violation notice to the Pu'ali Community Association for cutting down numerous trees in one area. All these condos were sold with views described as fantastic, magnificent, and breathtaking. We have walked each building site and placed a premium on the value of the view, Mike McCormack, the developer of the project, said. In another recent tree cutting case in Hawaii, the property owners received hefty fines for unauthorized tree cutting. That outcome is pretty standard across the US in these cases. It remains to be seen whether views versus trees cases will become more prevalent in America. In another discussion here recently, a poster discussed calculating tree benefits with the protocols listed under treebenefits.com/calculator and stated that view obstruction is not a factor, nor should it be. This is an interesting tree topic. Some years back, Yosemite National Park cut down thousands of trees to improve views. One wonders if this project was universally viewed as heresy across the rest of the nation, or whether there was some acceptance of the objective. One of the interesting philosophical questions here involves the value of meadows. Do meadows have a value? Might their value be equal to a stand of trees in some cases? How about the views that meadows enhance? Do they have a value? Seeing a distant mountain range, seeing the horizon, the sun setting in the distance. And what about a grassy slope? Or are we better off consistently filling open terrain with trees? This is like the strangest like philosophy kind of questions I've ever personally encountered. I mean, like, I normally don't think like, do tree views have a value? Do meadows have a value? Do grassy slopes specifically have a value? That is, I mean, I guess in some areas that is an important question. It's just one I have never personally run across. Crazy neighbor is clearing out my woods, little by little. This is a 6-month-long irritation. I go between being so mad I could rip this woman's hair out and crying because the woods behind my house, my property, are being cleared out when I am either inside or not home. 6 months ago, we had flooding rains. I lost 7 huge trees, roots and all, and a large artesian well opened up at the roots of the trees. This water was flowing down my hill into another creek that most of the backyards on this block share, depending on where the property lines fall. The water slowed and we could finally get into our woods to see the damage, only to see this stupid neighbor digging a 8-foot long by 3.5-foot deep waterfall on my property. She had clear cut the whole corner of my yard and put in this waterfall so she could see it from her house. I told her I do not want my woods cleared out. She said she understood. Since then, every time I walk out my backyard, I see this witch climbing up out of my woods. She has continued clearing out about 25 into my property. I just put up no trespassing signs because she is clearly an entitled a-hole and asking wasn't working. The sign keeps her out of my woods so far, but I recorded her today throwing stuff over here and then just walking along the line with a shovel and digging out little spots and throwing it over here. I should add I had a no trespassing sign up for 5 years prior to this, but I don't think she could see it because the wood used to be full. But she also didn't ask if she could do this and knew she was on my property. I am so ticked about this huge bald spot in my woods. All I can see when I look out my back door is her huge RV and all of her other garbage. It used to be just trees. How do you deal with a person like this? Is it illegal to record this woman if she's just walking the line littering? Is there any recourse for trees and random shrubbery that she's cleared out? Should I just call the police if she keeps doing this? I went out to talk to her after watching her throw stuff for about 30 minutes, and she hauled her rear back in her house. She is weird, and I don't know how to deal with her. I forgot to originally add, she has dumped truckloads of dirt and concrete, her brother is in construction, onto the property line so her yard wouldn't slope, and in doing this, she buried and moved the metal property markers. She pointed one out to me and said I should stick it back in the ground. I told her that isn't where it goes and I'm not moving it. Can they move a property marker like that? In addition to sending her a cease and desist, send a letter to the construction company for dumping on your land. Demand that they remove the dirt from your property, restore it to the pre-dump condition, and pay for a survey so the property lines can be reestablished. I am not a lawyer, but as far as I know, you have some level of right to monitor your property. If you happen to catch her doing illegal things like trespassing, littering, and damaging your property, you can report her to the police. If I were you, that is who I would contact about your options. Thanks for replying. I'm looking for an outside camera to put up, and then I won't be the weirdo with a phone outside. And calling the cops is a good idea. It's to the point where I'm not sure I can keep my cool dealing with her one-on-one. The cops might also be able to give you advice on what your rights are in the situation and what you can and can't do. Most of the time, they are aware of how the details are in your town or where to find the right information. I hope you get justice. Someone destroying a forest just breaks my heart. Thank you. I've been so upset about all of this. I plan on replanting and trying to make it as awesome as it was before. So with this particular, I guess, case or situation, no, it is just from common sense, I would say it is not legal for someone to move property markers, especially because I'm sure that they would try to claim that meant that the property line or whatever has moved, which is not true. Clearly not legal for them to go onto your property and cut your trees or make themselves a waterfall so they can see it from their house on your property. Like, this is absurd. I would have called the police a long time ago personally, and I would at that point not be ashamed to be out there with a cell phone recording, because you are legally allowed to be on your property using a camera of some sort, because that's your property. So anything you can see from your property is not illegal for you to record, basically. So especially if she's coming onto your property, I wouldn't be ashamed to be like looking her right in the face and be like, I see you. I see what you're doing. But I'm glad that they're setting up camera and hopefully talking it to the police about that situation. I want some feedback from you guys. Are you guys interested in r/TreeLaw and the random different things that have to do with trees and the laws around them? Would you like me to cover this subreddit in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like. Real quick, I would like to thank my patrons. Up on the screen you should see my face palmers and my crazy K's. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way. If you're interested in becoming a patron or possibly sending me something for a future video, or if you want to see the original posts from this video, all of that information is in the description box, so be sure to check that out, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!